Have you ever seen a robot as a villain? A robot wearing a big gold chain, walking with a crazy swagger. His daily job is to rob, and he specializes in expensive luxury cars. In minutes, he gets his hands on several luxury cars. Not only that, he also robs banks, robs armored cars. With a body as strong as King Kong, he does the work of human bandits. Yet, who would have thought that just a few days ago, this bandit robot was still a police robot serving justice? In the future, Johannesburg, South Africa, has the highest crime rate in the world. There are over 500 violent incidents every day on average. The police can no longer protect human safety. At this time, a robot named Sentinel emerged. The police used it to form the world's first robot police force. As long as the target location and person are input, the robot can carry out precise strikes. The robot police are truly amazing, and they are fireproof and shockproof. Their bodies are made of titanium alloy steel plates. Human criminals are completely crushed before them. With the efforts of the robot police, the city's crime rate has been greatly reduced. The police chief excitedly announced plans to buy another batch of robots. This robot was created by a programmer named Dean. Dean was born in the slums. He won $238,000 in a TV show. Now he is a senior executive of a major company. He reached the pinnacle of his career by developing Sentinel, but he has an even higher goal: to develop advanced AI that can truly think and live. For this goal, Dean works overtime every night. After 945 days of relentless effort, he finally finished the program. He excitedly told his manager about his research results. This robot can write poetry and paint. Now it's just a matter of mass production. But the manager firmly refused. What we need to do is mass-produce robot police. To maximize profits, don't waste time on projects that can't make money. Dean didn't give up. He secretly went to the warehouse and took away a scrapped robot. He also stole the key to update the program, and wanted to go back and assemble it himself. Unexpectedly, he was stopped by a car on the way. A thug punched and shattered the car window, and then they dragged Dean out of the car. Dean was awakened by a bucket of water. He finally realized he had been kidnapped by a local gang. The leader was Aaron. Because of the emergence of robot police, they haven't had any revenue for a long time. Aaron found out that Dean was the creator, so he captured him, forced him to turn off the robots. If he didn't turn them off, he would chop off his feet and feed them to the dogs. Dean stated he was just a worker. He didn't have the authority to shut them down. The three searched Dean's car. They found the parts in the trunk and suddenly had a bold idea. These robbers are really smart. They made Dean modify the robot's program, turning the robot into the most domineering thug in history to help them rob. Dean had a sudden flash of inspiration. He could take this opportunity to test his program. So he reassembled the robot, inserted the safety key, and replaced it with his own program. When the button was pressed, the robot actually started, but he was like a newborn baby. He felt afraid of everything around him. After confirming that Dean and Snow meant no harm, he slowly came out and tentatively poked them. Dean took out a toy chicken that made noise, and taught the robot words. The robot actually learned. Snow named him Chappie. However, Aaron was dissatisfied. He wanted a thug who could rob, not a baby. Dean said this was not an ordinary robot, but a robot with super learning abilities. You'll need to teach him. Dean let the robot try drawing. Chappie is very talented, but Aaron was dissatisfied. He pushed Dean down. Who told you to teach him such useless things? Aaron decided to take the field himself. The first step is to learn shooting. He aimed at the bottle in front of him with a gun. One shot, one hit. Let Chappie do the same. But Chappie thought shooting was threatening others, refused to learn. So, they could only move on to the second step, learning to speak. He can't speak too formally. It's best to greet each other's family when speaking. Chappie learned it quickly. The third step is to learn ninja skills, throwing darts. Unexpectedly, Chappie hit every shot. Even the nunchaku was quickly mastered. He could kick through the wall with one foot. The fourth step is to learn how to walk, to overwhelm others in momentum. He learned from Aaron's appearance, not walking in a straight line, but bending his body. The last step is to spray paint, wearing a big gold chain. He looked like a total thug, exuding 4 big words. I'm not easy to mess with. The learning phase is over. It's time for practice. How powerful is a robot as a villain? Aaron told Chappie, a bad guy stole my car, take this gun. Scare him so he'll never dare to do it again. Chappie confirmed the target, ran up angrily, smashed the car with a stick, pulled the car door off with one hand, threw the car owner 32 feet away, taught him a lesson. Afterwards, Aaron told him, you can just rob the car, but don't smash it. Next, Chappie robbed several more cars. He completed a month's target in one day. Aaron wanted to continue robbing with Chappie, but Chappie had promised Dean not to commit crimes. Aaron revealed the truth to Chappie. When Dean created you, he installed a faulty battery. Now you have only 3 days left. After the battery runs out, you'll shut down. The only way to get more money for a new battery is by robbing. Chappie didn't understand. Why did Dean create a flawed self? He asked Dean, "Why did you create me, then let me die?" Dean didn't know how to explain. At this time, Chappie had completely human thoughts. He wanted to live. Suddenly Chappie convulsed and fell to the ground. At the same time, the other robot police in the city also started malfunctioning one after another. Dean's colleague, Lucas, is the main reason this problem happened. He also studied a robot. Lucas introduced his powerful weapon to the police. This robot can launch high-explosive bombs. It can even shoot down enemy aircraft, but the police argued that they are dealing with urban crime. The Sentinel robot is enough. This powerful weapon is bulky and unattractive. Only when the situation gets worse will it be considered. With the crime rate in the city dropping, he's wondering when his powerful weapon will finally be useful. If there are no opportunities, then create them. Lucas sneaked into the warehouse and implanted malicious code into the Sentinel program. For a while, all the robots in the city were paralyzed. When the criminals learned that the robots were offline, they rushed into the streets, robbing and killing. They have been suppressed for too long. Now they launched a crazy attack. All the mechanical police in the city are paralyzed. Criminals started to riot. They smashed all the stores. The city center is in chaos. All the police are dispatched. Even the helicopter is used. It's hard to quell the chaos for a while. Lucas saw the news, excited as if he had won the lottery. It's not over yet. He wants to delete the programs of all the robots. At this time, Dean came with the injured Chappie. He deleted the malicious code and restarted the system. Chappie came back to life. He saw the neural conductor and the robot next to it. Thought of a way to save himself. Dean told him a cruel truth. You are not data. You have your own consciousness, and consciousness cannot be transferred. Chappie said that he could analyze what consciousness is, and then transfer himself, regardless of Dean's opposition. He insisted on taking the neural conductor. Do you know how humans can achieve eternal life? It's just a matter of uploading memories. Place the conductor on Snow's head. Learn the relevant knowledge online. Chappie tirelessly types away on the keyboard, entering code over and over again. After a night of study, he actually managed to calculate the neural data. He saw his own consciousness on the computer. Now, all that's left is to get money for a new body. He decided to take Aaron's advice and engage in robbery. He quickly targeted an armored car. Chappie blasted the door of the armored car and dragged the guard out, but he was surprised to find that the guard he shot did not fall asleep, but was trembling, pleading with him not to hurt himself. Only then did Chappie realize he had done something wrong. At the same time, Dean found out at the company. It was Lucas who secretly tampered with the data. Before he could confront Lucas, he saw the news of Chappie's robbery and immediately went to stop him. Lucas, fearing the truth would be exposed, turned the blame on Dean, claiming that the robot's malfunction was all Dean's fault. To stop the damage quickly, the manager decided to let Lucas use his weapon of mass destruction to take out Chappie. The weapon of mass destruction took to the air, heading straight for Aaron's hideout. Just at that moment, Chappie realized he had been deceived. He threw Aaron out with one hand. Dean arrived. Chappie angrily questioned them. Why do you humans all like to lie? Before one wave had subsided, another arose. Aaron's archenemy came to the door, intent on taking over his territory, and also wanted to take Chappie away. Aaron picked up his gun and started fighting. A fierce melee ensued between the two sides. Just at that moment, the weapon of mass destruction descended from the sky, drawing the attention of everyone present. The bullets shot at it were like tickling an itch for it. It could tear a person in half in an instant. The gang of three was now a duo. The weapon of mass destruction was like the Grim Reaper, blowing up the car Aaron used for robbery. It flew into the air. With a single shot, it shattered Aaron's factory. Then it fired a concentrated barrage into the sky. Countless shells rained down in unison. Lucas was ecstatic. The next target was Dean. Dean was cornered. At this critical moment, Chappie, carrying a gun, made a dazzling appearance. He flew into the air and placed a bomb on the chest of the weapon of mass destruction, then fired several shots. Detonation the bomb. However, the weapon of mass destruction was too powerful. It quickly hit Chappie, and the bomb detonator fell to the ground. The weapon of mass destruction began a full-scale attack. Bullets continuously rained around them, leaving them no chance to fight back. The archenemy took advantage of the chaos. A shot hit Aaron's leg. Another shot hit Dean's waist. Aaron covered Snow and others to retreat. He stayed behind to draw the attention of the weapon of mass destruction, buying time for them to escape. Seeing the weapon of mass destruction getting closer, at the critical moment, Snow jumped out of the car, picked up the shotgun on the ground and fired at it. but she was also riddled with bullets. Chappie picked up the detonator from the ground, blew the weapon of mass destruction to smithereens. Lucas's proud creation was destroyed like that. Chappie was furious. The robot Chappie was angry. He had always regarded Snow as his mother. Seeing his loved one die before his eyes, he was determined to avenge her. He drove to the company and found Lucas, chased him all the way to the office building. Chappie said, "You harmed my mother. I will crush you." He gave Lucas a severe beating, only leaving after he had no breath left. Chappie helped Dean to the warehouse. There was only one robot body. Only one of them could survive. Chappie unhesitatingly chose to save Dean. Put on the conductor. Read Dean's consciousness. At this time, the police had already arrived outside the warehouse door. Suddenly, the robot on the ground responded, and it was Dean. He looked at his own corpse, unable to accept the fact for a while. A human had actually become a robot. At this time, the police outside were sawing the door. There was very little time left, and Chappie was also about to reach the end of his life. Suddenly, Dean thought of it. Lucas had uploaded his data here. The consciousness of Chappie could be remotely transferred to the nearest reconnaissance robot. The police outside had broken down the door, and Dean also escaped at the last moment. A robot stood up by the roadside. That was Chappie. Both of them were reborn. In the end, Chappie remembered that Snow had also worn the conductor, which recorded her consciousness data, although her body was dead. Chappie copied the data, transferred the consciousness of Snow to a new robot. Snow was also reborn. The film is called Chappie. The film is good. Recommended to watch the original. Well, that's all for this episode's content. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe to K. See you next episode. Bye bye.